Righto, well, we're all together after one extremely hectic week. So, I guess welcome everybody to the podcast. We're thinking about calling it the Open Shed Podcast, but that comes with some challenges regarding lighting and background noise. We just sent JD off to work somewhere else.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's the powerhouse of the
Here
operation.
we're trying to keep a productive workshop and you're sending him off.
Yeah, well, Phil's a little reluctant to to sit down. So anyway, so we thought
got me.
It cuts into caravanning time, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you got
a trip to organise.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's not just one busy week either.
no, but it was more than usual, wasn't it?
Super busy.
So that was the week of the cotton picking. We had both planters going. We had the bale grab with the cotton modules and then slashing. And I had a heap of spraying to do. What else was going on? We had trucks coming to pick up the organic wheat from the previous year. We had fertiliser arriving. Anyway,
Did you mention the planters?
the planters.
Planting?
Yeah, we had both planters going, so we had to get the John Shearer set up. So that was all good fun. But anyway, most of that's been covered in the videos. But so more or less planting has finished. We've just got the 300 hectares of chickpeas to do where the cotton was. But all in all, it all went pretty smoothly, eh?
Is that me or you?
Well,
Unprofessional.
Man alive.
That's old Marcus.
GPS
The
specialist.
GPS man. He'll get offended if I don't talk to him.
He might be watching
just
this
have-
anyway.
Hello, Marcus out there.
He just-
It's for a good cause. I've ignored you.
I'm going to turn mine off too.
It has. We've got most of it done and it went pretty good. So we're all kicked some goals, I think.
So the cotton, that was the bigger unknown, wasn't it? So it turned out reasonably okay, didn't it? It was like, I guess, what would you say, an average? Sort of just...
Yeah, I think,
better than average, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, I think in this area, Tony, who they all met, he's I think he reckons about 3.5 bales is about average east of the highway. So we obviously won't know the finer numbers until we get a gin, but yeah, it could be that, but I think it might be a little bit less.
But either way, it's definitely not a failure of a situation. So it's very, very pleasing.
Oh, for sure.
All we wanted to do was cover our costs. We didn't want to get in there and think it's a silver bullet. We just wanted to cover our costs for the first year. And it looks like we've done that.
And the reason, I think Brad said in a previous video, that the main reason for going cotton was the weed control, wasn't it?
It's one of the main reasons.
Getting a break from the winter crops, so we can hammer the winter weeds with a heavy brew without. Yeah, you're just limited obviously when there's a crop you're trying not to kill.
That's right. Yeah. We used a lot of that chemistry up, so it gives us a new options, new opportunities. Yeah. And now even if we go into chickpeas, obviously it's a lot of that winter grass has come up now, so we'll be able to get a good crack at them before the crop's in the ground, which is good. Yeah.
And the other thing was, Phil, you were pretty crook, eh? You were out of it.
I was out of it.
Someone commented on a video and said, "Where's Phil? We don't see much of him." I said he doesn't like the camera.
Yeah, well, while you guys are happy to be in the camera, I'm happy to be out there working. Yeah.
in the background.
It didn't help that you were starting out at 4 o'clock in the morning either, when the rest of us were probably...
Yeah.
No.
So Phil ended up with a throat infection and was very ginger and not figured he might as well be awake on a tractor than be awake in bed. So
If I don't see another throat lozenge, I'll be happy. They didn't really touch the sides though. They just were useless. Anyway, that was good to have a throat back again.
No, you were a bit quiet there for a while, not making much
There
Much
wasn't
noise.
wasn't much joy. But yeah, no, I just knew we had to get the crop in the ground before the rain, so the body had to follow. But yeah, no, we're. I think it's tracking along quite nicely now with the rain that we've had, 20 mil, and what we've planted is looking really good. Got a full profile, so we'll we're in good stead for this next year, and even to have a profile where the cotton is, that's saying something for a double crop.
Because usually what happens is, and I guess a good way to look at it is we're converting moisture into money, and if you use one crop to take all the moisture, say cotton, then obviously there's a lot less, generally speaking, so it doesn't always work out to do a double crop situation, but so it's really about conserving moisture and that, isn't it? So
Very crude, Matt.
very
You're
crude.
using moisture to create biomass.
Oh yeah,
It's
sorry.
a lot more
I'll
softer than money. Yeah.
You can be the spokesperson, Brad. I was just getting to the point.
But we're lucky, aren't we? Because we've got three things going for us. We can grow a winter and a summer crop. We can store 150 mil or 6 inches of effective rainfall in the soil. And what was the other one? There's always been
Summer
three.
crop and
The
winter
summer
crop.
and the winter crop. Storing the moisture, the black soil,
And being able to double crop
and double cropping.
potentially.
No, it is.
That if you put all the areas in the world together in one sort of grouping, I reckon it'd be a fairly small area, wouldn't it? That have the options that we have.
We did do the shout out, and there was a few that did a bit off and on in a few spots, but certainly not a big area.
I don't know any good farmer around this area that's never double cropped, but I don't know any of the really good farmers who continually double crop. That makes sense? It's just occasionally that works out.
So unreliable rainfall that really does it.
You don't want to base your model off that, do you? The double crop, but if the opportunity's there,
But it's really utilised a lot as a fallback as well too. If there's no moisture for the winter crop, then you can go in and vice versa. But
That was the other thing. The third thing was our rainfall, 24 to 26 inch rainfall, which means generally on average we get enough rainfall to grow 2 crops. But no year's average, is it?
not lately.
We had 3 years that were way above average, and preceding that was 3 years that were way below average. So
Yeah, what is average?
Well,
It's over a 10-year period.
well, averages, you boys and I, put us all together, we got an average IQ, but one or two of us probably smarter than the other.
let's put your hand up if you think you're the smart one.
You're the smart one, are you, Dad?
I'd say we don't know if it's average, but
Statistically.
So yeah, and then what else? So the wheat, originally we wanted to put the wheat in at the development block first, but it just kept raining. Just every week we got another 10, 15 mil or 20 mil, and it just couldn't get onto it. So
the opportunity we had, we used to say the other blocks that were smaller, your home block and the other block up in the hills, and that was driven just because of the weed. We needed to get on there for the weeds, and so we thought we may as well sow it just after spraying, and that took us out of the game for the window for that main development block, but sort of never were able to get back there, were we?
well, it's not. Yeah, I mean, you just don't know what the weather's going to do. Whether it's just a one rainfall event or whether there's preceding ones.
Well, we had, 2 or 3 weeks of blocking highs, but we still kept getting showers.
Yeah, no, that's right.
But yeah, if we could get it all in May, that was the goal, and I think we have, except these chickpeas following the cotton.
Well, it's the 4th of June today. So for
We
those
just scraped in.
listening, for those listening to reference that with videos, I do try to mention the date on the videos. Just it's a bit hard to keep track, really.
Locks in it to a time, but when you do that,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Matt
Can't
done
I
fudge
can't,
it.
I can't fudge it, make
Can't
us look
fudge
better
it.
than we are.
I reckon the other day he put a bit of previous footage in where he had the date. He nominated the date. I reckon he might have snuck a bit of stuff done previously to that, but we won't tell anyone.
Well, sometimes it just doesn't make sense, and I'm sitting at the computer for half an hour like, how do I make this make sense and still use the footage? Because if there's one little snippet of information missing, you don't know where to put it. So
I think you do a marvellous job at editing, Matt. I should call you Brad Phil Matt.
yeah, well, you used to.
Well, that's what I used to be called, Neil Ian Peter.
no, that's right. I mean, look, it's hard, isn't it? Like, it's good we got it all in, and the week was probably about 2 weeks later than we would have liked. It's a more earlier season week, isn't it? But it's not a disaster by any means. And but there's a lot of factors that, I was just thinking, like, as far as what we put in, we're trying to manage our rotation for disease and weeds and all sorts of things. Plus also your risk of a crop failure too, aren't you? And then you've got elevation, frost, heat, location. There's just a lot of factors, and then pricing is one as well. Some farmers, it's obviously a fairly high factor, isn't it? For us, it's more of a guide, perhaps. So we've got pretty high level of chickpeas in, and the price is looking good at the moment, but could be different at harvest time. And that really was just about a rotational decision, wasn't it? Ultimately, more than it being a really good price at sowing.
Well, you got to ask yourself, would you still put them in at half the price of what the current market is, And I think we said we would.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Because canola missed out this year, didn't it?
But the thing that normally happens when you have the cotton rotation, you can sometimes miss 2 crops. And this year, it looks like you're not going to even drop a crop because of that double crop option. You're going to big long space to get the cotton, and then a really short amount of time, maybe just a week or two. But what started the stripping started on Monday afternoon and was finished Thursday afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
And then the bales were pulled, the round modules, bales were pulled off. I think Jamie did all of that on the neighbour's tractor. And then it was slashed. It was finished slashing on Friday.
I don't think we've got any footage of the slashing as such, do we? That was a lot of night stuff. JD went on to that for one night, and it was just a bit. There was a lot of loose ends being tied up, but yes, that all happened pretty promptly.
I thought you would have taken footage there, mate. Slipping.
Yeah, he was slipping.
You were up him. You wouldn't let him stop work to go and take the footage.
Well,
You had the whip out.
He could get up there at midnight and take a night footage.
Hey, come on. This is Matt.
Or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Don't let all the secrets out.
I could have got a bit of midnight. I got a bit of night stuff on the drone, I think. I don't know.
That's so funny. I did it could be in an upcoming video, but Brad was being very noble and thought he'd take some drone footage because I gave him a drone, and I'd accidentally left, or somehow the setting was on FPV mode, so it doesn't stabilise properly. It's like went flying and doing this, where the camera turns and you can do all tricky stuff, and Brad was like, I just don't understand, I can't get it nice and smooth, and he's battling away, and I just started editing the footage last night and having a bit of a laugh.
Were there any uncomplimentary words coming to mind, or?
No, I just thought I was a dud. Yeah,
More of a dud.
more of a dud.
Yeah.
You just set it up for him.
If you hang on to that thought, we're going to be right, aren't we?
Just a drone rookie.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, says me who crashed the drone in the first place.
There's an irony in
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I ended up. The drone crashed on the. So the drone crashed on the Friday morning when I was trying to take some footage of Robbo on the grader. You know, get the nice slow motion grader shot, and I wasn't even recording when I hit it, so didn't get any footage of it tumbling out of the sky. But and then when you do buy the drone, you can opt to get like it's kind of like an in-house insurance, you know, from the manufacturer. And we ended up, for a lot less than a new drone, we had a new one here Tuesday afternoon. So I was still able to catch the pickers with a good drone, which was nice.
You dropped a week, did you?
Sorry? No, only 4 days.
4 days.
Over the weekend.
Yep.
So it, I was very, very surprised, and that was good. It's just always hard to get used to a new drone, or like using the old one again, trying to get used to it and not having the same lenses and stuff. But anyway,
Get back to the slashing.
slashing.
Why do we slash? It's part of the requirement of the cotton. You got to slash the stalk. I can't remember the reason. Can you, Phil? We did go to cotton school and
We just do what we're told.
Got
About
our
the pupae.
licence. Yeah, we know about the pupae. Yeah,
Yeah, we've got to do that still.
yeah.
Does
But
some
the
of the
slashing, there was a reason why we got a slash.
does some of them embed in the stalk itself?
I don't think so. I
Or
think
the
it's to
ones-
stop the regrowth, maybe help stop it.
We're just cotton rookies here,
Yeah,
so
anyway.
we just slash it because it's like tree stumps out in the middle of the paddock,
And that's what
we
we're
don't want to
told to
drive over them.
We're very, very compliant.
Yeah, we are. We're
we
good,
just
good people.
do what we're told.
Cleans it up too.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
very untidy without it, and hard on all your wiring underneath tractors and stuff. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, that's always a nice fun one.
Vehicles?
So yes, no, we've got to pupae bust. That's the main requirement with after picking. So we've got to do a tillage at about 4 inches deep. So
And the current plan for that is with the Boss, we've got the shanks, they're actually just behind camera there. We've got the shanks that slip into the or replacement shanks that'll be going two for each row of cotton, and they've got the sweeps on them to cultivate just where the cotton, the roots are, and then in between that will just be the knife points as per usual.
yeah, that's the plan
So that's
anyway.
Yep. See if it works.
We sort of would, if it wasn't so wet, we'd probably go in with a full tillage, you know, with the John Shearer. But Brad had a little play with that before the rain, and it was not much joy there, eh?
No, she's
cheesy.
tight, very tight.
Plenty of horsepower, no traction.
Yeah. So that's our idea, isn't it? Like we'll cultivate each side of the cotton row, and that'll be minimal soil disturbance, and then maybe we, after the chickpeas are off, we may be able to cultivate to get rid of some of those wheel tracks we're chasing, if it works, I suppose.
And we'll hit it with the Kellys after the planting, because those clods have got to be less than fist size, don't they?
Yep.
For the complete pupae bust.
Yes.
And this might all happen when you guys are on your glorious adventure.
Yeah. We'll leave
What
it
did
all
Dad-
up to you.
What did Dad call it? Intensive leisure.
Look
Aggressive.
Aggressive leisure.
Aggressive leisure.
Yeah.
Aggressive with the fuel bill.
So I've got a newborn coming, number 5, 2 weeks after you guys leave. So we don't really know what's going to happen, but
Just roll with it.
You won't get more sleep, mate.
no. Well, I know what's going to happen there.
You might be looking forward to getting out, doing a bit.
I have a question for you. Have you thought about running on the Brad's property instead of northwest runs, going east-west to try and drain that, let the wheel tracks, I mean, it's less efficient. You go from 800 metre long runs from 4 kilometres, so that's a real turn off, that one. But I reckon in the wet years it'd have a real positive impact on draining the water, but
Oh, I think I told you that one, Dad.
You did.
Yeah,
That was yours,
so
and I jumped on board with that.
I think it's the best way to go, but yeah, it's just getting Brad over the line.
I'm stick in the mud.
It's more. he just likes his straight lines.
It's hard on the spray drivers.
Gotta
All that
think of
turning
all that.
around.
No, I just
Not
get a
on.
twitch.
Yeah, it's
Get
not
a
on.
Twitch.
It's all right when you're only doing 8 kilometres an hour on a planter. You still get a bit of time to relax in between turns, but in a sprayer, yeah.
I think it'd probably turn it from a really wet block into a not so bad block. I think because you'd find that water would drain out so easily instead of holding. But anyway, it's a worthwhile discussion to have, isn't it?
The hard bit is in the 2 or 3 year transition period when you're hitting all the tram lines.
That's why I thought of it. If you did your cultivation, then you'd start then afresh. But the previous owners did do that, didn't they?
As long as we get contractors in, we'll be right.
We'll sell
Or
all the
we'll get-
machinery.
We'll get Matt to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On the 280.
wreck the rest of my back. Yeah, you guys are keeping me off all those fancy tractors now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I had a quick go on a Fent with the suspension, and that was eye opening. And then the fast track that Jamie was using, much the same. It was.
It's like a buggy out in the middle of the paddock.
I took a bit of drone footage, and I just it was like just a buggy, like it just hook and dust everywhere, just accelerates real quick and just into it. And
That's
smooth
trouble
as.
keeping the drain up.
Yeah.
It did that job about 3 times quicker than the typical front wheel assist tractor, I think.
And then you could put a bail grab on the front as well and get 2 at a time.
No.
Marvellous bit of gear.
But I don't know, like they come at a cost, obviously, but it also, I guess we're running quite a bit more older gear. I don't know, is that more because we got the means to repair the older gear, or there's just no means to buy new gear?
It's a bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think we've capitalised in labour too. So we're providing people with jobs. So we're trying to find jobs for people. So yeah, broken down equipment is a good way to get work, isn't it?
I guess so.
It's still cheaper than if we went out and bought all new gear. We wouldn't. Don't think the bank would let us do that either. It seems to be a different mindset in Australian farming if you're not a corporate operation, isn't it?
Well, there's
Smaller acres.
If you buy the gear, there's less discretionary spending. You can choose what you repair and what you don't, or you can choose. Whereas once you're on payments, it's just you lose some choice.
But it's a known cost too. Like with your new gear, it's you've got more of a known operation cost, not a blowout situation when
No, that's
2 or
true.
3 things come in at once.
Well, I think with scale comes a economy of scale. With all that machinery, when you're paying over $1 million for a piece of gear.
Well, everything's over $1 million basically, isn't it? Now.
So the more hectares you spread it over, the cheaper it becomes.
But I don't think any of us have a problem with driving new gear and buying new gear. It's just that we don't have a problem with keeping the old gear going either. There's no. We sort of enjoy.
Well, it's the same. It does the same job effectively. It's just not as nice sometimes. But it's hard to justify from a. It's not like a new tractor's going to allow us to do something. Or do something else, or
That you couldn't
whatever.
do.
It might be a little bit more efficient. It might not have breakdowns or this, but
For me, I just like the machines being a tool, to put the crop in the ground and to get things done on time. It's not the status of having the new gear.
It's the means to an end.
and if it's
And if timing, for me, I believe if you can't get the timing right with the farming, then you need to upgrade or do something like that. But it doesn't matter whether you got an old tractor or a new tractor. If it's in on time, it's Yeah, you don't know at harvest time, do you?
The crop doesn't know what kind of tractor put it in the ground, but it's very, like hard too with the newer machines and that, like, because if you do have a breakdown with a newer machine, it can be weeks sometimes. It might be less common, but when you do have a breakdown, it can be a long time. Whereas a lot of these older ones too, sometimes it is just a relatively easy repair, even though it might be more frequent. It can be repaired in-house rather than being locked out of being able to repair machines that do have an issue. And we've got redundancies anyway. We've sort of, the guys, whoever's watched the videos will see that we do have quite a few breakdowns at times, but it's never really put us in a position of peril. We planted last year with the Steiger because the Challenger motor was still getting rebuilt, which was took a lot longer than we were assuming. So that worked out all right.
It's really good content for the YouTube channel. We're really thinking of you, mate.
That's right.
Yeah, a bit of clickbait.
Yeah, breakdown.
Breakdowns. Everyone loves a good breakdown when it's not theirs.
Yeah, the D11s and breakdowns, that's the tickets. But they're all in sleep mode at the minute, aren't they, the D11s?
That's the thing I like about the old girls, is they're sitting out in the paddock now, and they haven't been started for a good month probably, and they're I reckon when we get back into them, we'll check the fluids and be all good and turn the key and away you go.
And they haven't devalued by sitting in the sun.
Even though I've just been to the physio for tennis elbow, swinging on those steering levers, but
if we got the 11Rs, then you'd have finger, that's steering...
arthritis in your fingers,
You've got your finger paddles for steering or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
What do you reckon we're through the developing on the development block? How are we 70% through, or?
I'd say we're probably 90 of the, or 85, 90 on the bulk of it. Yeah, so we've got a big, a good chunk just straight after harvest to do again in one of the last paddocks.
But the low-hanging fruit has largely been picked, and it's the high value return per hour spent has been done, hasn't it? And now it's still valuable, but perhaps not the high gains.
Yeah. We just need to get you and Matt on the daisies, and Brad and I'll, go around with a camera, eh?
Can you just turn that? I'm having trouble hearing Phil there, Matt.
Careful what you wish for, Phil. But it's...
Well, as long as we don't have to go and fix it all up.
Well, that's what usually happens when one of us go on the dozer. Phil spends the next 2 hours fixing it. But they're obviously probably going to get less of a run now too. They're going to probably be off a bit more than they have been, but that's the beauty of them too. They weren't bought to run them 24/7. They were bought to do, what they
6
needed
to
to
8
do.
weeks work in a year, and that's about all you can handle, isn't it? Really, like body and brain.
Well, yeah, we've been going hard since the drought with them. Like I feel like I have been anyway, and I'm getting a bit worn out with it. So I enjoy the earth moving, but I like the farming too. So sort of just a balancing act.
We enjoy the earth moving and on your own country. Whereas when you're just doing it for money, there's not quite the same buzz, is there?
Well, there's stress involved in that, isn't there? Like you want to make sure you're doing the best job you can, and you're trying to juggle what's possible plus what the person wants, and
plus managing the farm and stuff. Yeah, no, it's good fun. We're just working it all out. So but we've got plenty of work there if we want it. So we might be all refreshed after our big holiday, eh? We might be keen to get into it.
Put in a 10-week stint in the dozer. That'll pay for the holiday.
pay for the fuel for the holiday. My big beast.
Yes.
That's the thing that's evident though with the dozers. You've got plenty of people that have driven the big dozers, D10s, 11s, but not many of them have driven or have got their experience in earth moving and contours and waterways. And it's a pretty narrow field that, like D6 drivers that have made their own contours and banks and that would adapt fairly well to the big girls. But those who have learned on one of the big tractors in the mines of some sort don't really seem to get the skills that are required.
Well, they're just pushing to a stockpile all day.
Not that we're saying what you do is not important, guys.
Yes.
We know you that coal getting pushed.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Don't want any of those kind of comments, please. I'm sure if any of us tried to stockpile, we'd make a mess of it.
Well, isn't carbon the only renewable form of energy anyway? Recycled sunlight?
It takes a long time.
Look at all the others, and they're not. Anyway, it's a pity you can't edit that out, mate.
I could,
You could.
if I wanted to.
What about the
Oh,
stockpiling?
it's so unpopular to be, with the way the world's going with renewables and that, but all the renewables that you hear about, there's quite a lot of downsides, whether it's minerals required for the solar and the wind, and then hydrogen, split the hydrogen. Well, where do you use the water molecule? Once you use up the water molecule, the heat produced from the two of hydrogen and one of oxygen, or the other way around, is it? H2, two of hydrogen, one of oxygen. Where does the heat component go from that water that the atom was split? Well, it goes to the atmosphere. You don't get it back. But only carbon is the only one that's recycled. Carbon dioxide pulled out of the air goes into the trees get burnt, the coal gets formed, the gas gets formed, and then when it's burnt it releases back into the atmosphere again as renewable. You've got a limited amount of carbon, it just goes round and round the system, and sunlight drives it. Whereas all the others, they're not like that. Tell me I'm wrong.
No,
There's a whole rabbit trail we could
But-
go there.
right there.
But the point is, like, it's okay talk like that, but you can't go losing sight of the big picture, because it's no point us trying to change the world on those areas because we're outvoted out.
There's always a cost in wherever energy comes from, and there's no perfect solution really. But anyway, that's not really what
That
this.
hasn't got cheaper, has it?
No, definitely not. Or more reliable.
Is this where you come out and say you believe in climate change and all that? We'll leave that one there.
I think the climate has changed. It's always changing. So
I was just poking the bear.
Poke the bear.
no, it's-
So
you think so too?
What? Yeah.
the
And
you made
for
me
the sake
forget.
of going really deep,
Oh, here we go.
the climate.
Here we go.
I got a bite. We'll bring her in.
The climate has always paid for man's moral failure.
That's deep.
That's gone deep.
Maybe that we should make a segment Proverbs with Peter. You can do little.
Well,
Just deep dark.
But you're your father's son. You've connected on to where that. You can, but I don't know whether you agree with that.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it. Probably right.
He's too busy dreaming about motorbikes and your trip and travelling, and he's a distracted soul.
How are we going to go keeping up with him, Phil? Like, he's got the single axle, he's got double action, he's got ambition. You've got 5 kids. It's going to slow you down.
I've got the patrol butt with the V8. I'll
But you won't want to get too far ahead of those of us who are carrying fuel for you.
no,
Well, he won't.
no.
He won't get too far.
You'll
ahead,
always
will he?
you'll always catch up.
Put it this way, I won't ditch you.
Help me, please.
You can eat my dust, and then I'll have to suck up to you to get some more fuel.
Yes,
2 weeks away.
about that. 3, 2, yeah, something like that. We've been looking at they talk about a non-gazetted road or a gazetted road. I've been trying to understand what that is.
That sounds like a flower.
Yeah, no, that's right.
That was our road before we did the self-help program.
Yeah, like I don't understand it. It's a road, so it should be covered by insurance. Like,
Oh, right. So
you know,
it's like,
a non-gazetted road is one they don't maintain.
yeah.
Well, it shouldn't be called a road then if they're not going to look after it.
So basically, insurance-wise, they're
Yeah.
saying we're not going to insure you if you're on,
Some
if
do.
you go on this road.
Some do, and that's what we're just trying to find out. But I don't. It's either a road and you can drive on it, or it's not a road and you can't drive on it.
But there's plenty of roads that are marked on the map, but they're not much of a road.
No, it's just legal loopholes, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, you're always learning.
How am I going to title this?
This
What have we
is-
covered? We've covered
Not much.
planting, cotton.
And then you got all my coughing in the
Yeah,
middle
yeah. I
of
might
it.
have. I'll be turning your mic down in the edit. I think with the coughs. So anyway, looking, yeah, the next couple of weeks we're just going to be tidying up a few jobs, get a few jobs lined up, and then you guys are out of here.
We've got lots for Matt and JD and Johnny to do while we're away. Headers, got the flighting on the August, don't we?
We'll have a big list.
Yeah.
Plus,
Plus,
we'll come back, inspect, and then it'll all be done. We'll give you another big list, and then we'll be off.
there we'll go. We might get into the habit of it.
Righto, we're back.
So
That noise
what
is
were we
finished.
talking about? The
I can't remember.
oh yeah, we've got the header jobs and that for Matt and Johnny, Joe Solo, and then we got there was something else we had.
But you're going to
August
hopefully
lighting.
get
Oh.
some footage.
Yeah,
So when on the trip and we're trying to rig it up, so there's a bit of GoPro footage can be transferred and I can edit.
Yeah.
And that way I can live the holiday through you guys.
and that's true. And you'll have all the in-crop stuff, eh?
Yeah.
So if it's a wet season, it'll be pretty busy. If it's dry, it won't be too bad. And we could have some exciting developments coming up. Talking to our fella today about sprayers,
All righto. Yep.
potentially.
Yep.
So
Could
we'll leave you hanging, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Hold
leave
that
you
thought.
hanging.
Yeah, you're leaving me hanging too.
Yeah, I'll tell you off the air.
Don't want to get everyone's hopes up and then
Yeah, and then it flopped.
crash and burn.
No, there's a few things happening. It'll be good, yeah. But no, we were just discussing about the chickpeas, and the marketing can be quite fickle. It was India brought in a big tariff in, when was that? 2018?
19 or
19,
something.
somewhere around there. They brought in a small tariff and then it just escalated to a massive tariff in about a week or two. Really knocked our chickpea market around, and it's just started to recover a little bit, and now the Indians have opened up the market again. So the prices have gone pretty good, haven't they? And
I
so
think they've opened it up till March at least, so
next
yeah.
year, yeah.
all the buyers have got to get it into there before then.
So we've got 1.3, it's nearly 1.5 billion now, I think, in India.
Mm.
And they all love their chickpeas. So we've got lots of chickpeas getting planted around here now. So we're just discussing marketing options, and there's all sorts of different contracts you can and can't do, or can or shouldn't do, maybe is a better way, isn't it? So you can either forward sell or fixed tonnage. So if you think you might grow a total of, say, 2 tonne, you can say, I'll sell 1 tonne and take a risk. If you don't meet that amount, well, you've got to buy it off the market, which is not so bad if it drops the price, but if the price goes up, then you can be behind quite a bit.
Or you've got a weather event that means
And
the
then
product is not available.
The second issue, is your quality. So they've got a fairly high standard, because a lot of this stuff's food grade, isn't it? Chickpea 1, that's food grade, isn't it, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's got to have no staining, no mould, different things. And so, yeah, if you have that wet finish that Dad was talking about, it can be quite, well, impossible to meet that market. So it's trying to find clauses that give you that safeguard. Other ones are hectare contracts, isn't it?
Yeah,
You do a
hectare.
hectare.
They're a bit
Sort of-
safer, aren't they?
A little bit safer.
But you got about $100 less a tonne for the product.
And it's still a minimum and maximum tonnage, like
you're
based
sharing-
off your hectare.
You're sharing the risk between the buyer and the grower. But last year's chickpeas were the best quality chickpeas I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. If you could get them every year, you'd be laughing, but you just don't know, do you? Like, you can't. I think I'm probably more confident of it, some production for us than I am of the grade.
Yeah.
Because the grade, 2 weeks from harvest can turn it on its head.
Look real good and then go pear-shaped.
Yeah, they go mouldy pretty quick with a few rain events.
So the other option is you just wait and see what you got and just take the market then. So we're trying to, they're all part of some of the decisions we, as farmers know, you're just trying to always mitigate risk, minimise it, capitalise on opportunity too. It's getting that balance. And you don't get it right, do you, all the
No.
time?
I think with marketing, that's why it's good, because you can, you don't want all the eggs in the one basket. So you don't forward sell everything you got. You might do 20% of that and 80% at harvest time and 20% post harvest. Just it sort of spreads your risk a little bit, exposes you to different markets. And
Because we've got on farm storage, don't we, for probably, it'd be maybe 40%, would it?
yeah,
We could store 40% maybe,
I
roughly.
think most
maybe.
properties have got about a tonne to the acre of storage.
Yeah. That's probably what we'd be, roughly.
You've got the situation with the cotton where you've chosen not to sell, but it's sitting out there in a paddock, but until you get a gin run, you can't, you've got nothing to...
Well, we've been on the sharp, well, you're aware a bit from the dark days, but Phil and myself are just getting our head around it, so it is quite a different market and expertise required there. So we've thought for the first year, just to be safe, we haven't forward sold anything. We'll just, what we get, we'll just see when we get it, and then we'll sell it then. And that, just trying to, I think if you don't understand it, don't probably take the risk.
It's good life wisdom there.
keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Simple much as you can.
So we've teed up a bit of a potential. I don't know whether it works out when we do get our cotton in the gin, but we'll try and tee up a bit of a run through with that with the camera to. Because I haven't been through a gin, looking at a gin for probably 20 years at least. So
Yeah, may be longer.
it probably hasn't changed that much.
Right.
But
I
you
worked
used to work in them as an electrician.
an electrician, yeah. I know how much power they use.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might be away, so that might be a mat job. Going in and have a look, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So we'll see how that transpires. But I think there's a fair bit of cotton anyway, so they'll still be ginning well after you're back, I'd say, wouldn't they?
Even if it's not ours.
It may not
it's
be
the
ours,
same.
but we'll just,
It's the same.
to be continued on that, we'll see.
Yes. But no, I guess in summary,
We
we're
can
summarising.
summarise, yeah, we can summarise.
We're summarising, or we
It's
want to
nearly
keep...
5 o'clock now.
Yeah, that's right.
The
Yeah.
Time to go home.
union will get
Just
on to
saw
us here.
It's getting cold.
We don't want people getting bored, so... But no, overall it went well, didn't it? We've had a very awesome start to the season. We're very thankful to the Lord because, He provides the rain. At times we felt probably it's a bit too much, but there's those years, wasn't there, when we just didn't get anything, and that was pretty soul-searching. So it's just lovely to have rain, to be honest, and things are growing. So you'd have to say it's a very bright-looking season at this stage, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Like really, it's yeah.
And that's the, again with this area, the security of storing moisture, being able to plant on full profile, get a bit of rain after you plant, and then you're pretty much guaranteed a crop,
Something.
even though it may not be a bumper crop, it's going to be something, and that's not I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's that common.
I always worked on if you could get it up out of the ground with a full profile, you generally cover your costs, and rainfall in the crop gave you the profit. But it has changed a bit now because the costs are so high. But
We need all the rain we can get just to cover our costs.
Just
not too much.
Cover
two inches
Dave's
short of a
coffee bill.
flood.
Not too much.
That's right.
Yeah, well, you had some people reach out, wanted to shout your cup of coffee, didn't you, Dad? Just this last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a cup of coffee with them.
With
Caught up?
Ian
Some
and
fans.
Pam.
That's right. Yeah, lovely.
So
Lovely.
I was joking. I said I should say to people, if you want to help support the channel, go put a bit on your tab at the coffee trailer there, opposite Repco.
Name dropping. We were thinking too of you guys, if you wanted a bit of a joke, contribute $1 to take the Jeep on the trip, hey? If you want to see breakdowns and how far the Jeep's going to go.
We come to the conclusion that each subscriber would probably have to give $2.
And where does the bogging come into that too?
Oh, yeah, well, that's right.
Between the bogging and the Jeep.
No, there's
And
no
the breakdowns.
requirement for bogging. It just comes with the name Brad.
That's true. Yeah, we'll give it a crack.
I'm sorry, $1's just not enough.
$1's not enough.
And we are pursuing the idea of doing a straight through on the tiny one on the exhaust. We've got some fittings coming, but it's just the boys here said, "Nah, we're not doing that. The farm's not paying for that, so you're on your own." So we thought, righto.
Harsh bosses, aren't they? Yeah.
I think how there's a certain irony in that. I remember as being a kid, wanting to do something to the car and wasn't allowed to.
Where do you think that idea come from? Like, I've been living a suppressed life my whole life.
This is dangerous.
This isn't therapy, Dad. The podcast isn't therapy. Let's keep that in mind.
And now we got the debt. You're a free man.
You got the debt, I got the freedom.
That's right. That's a good
So-
way.
Return.
Good way.
So to
Yeah,
clarify,
we're trying to close, aren't we?
yeah. But to clarify, just with that, I've mentioned it in a few comments and that, but Brad and Phil are the bosses. They're the top dog.
Don't know where
So
that.
Dad and I just sort of try and get up to mischief in the background. And
We're all brothers. It's just, what did you say one day? My dad's actually just like an older brother.
who said that?
You did.
Oh,
Whenever you say something nice, I remember it.
oh right. Is that how it works? Well, it's probably better that way than the
Well,
other.
we're all the same. We've just got different roles,
Yeah.
Yes.
basically.
Basically, Brad and I just got to sleep with the debt.
If they can.
And you guys are free to dream.
Yeah, we can dream, and I can just dream about the YouTube channel all day and drones and
Yes.
yeah, good
Rightio.
times. Anyway, we'll leave it there, I think. So if anyone's still listening, that's great. But I'm just not sure how often this will be, but we'll see.
As opportunity opens.
As opportunity arises, it's not going to be a each week sort of a thing. It might be monthly, or it could be just whenever an opportunity comes. So we'll
topical,
just see.
topical. Maybe you get people turn up that would be interesting to.
Yeah, let us know in the comments anyway. With what sort of topics might be interesting to sort of loosely discuss. It's pretty hard to keep us on track, as is evident. But
It's like herding sheep.
Cats.
Cats.
Cats. Let us know in the comments, because we don't want to. Yeah.
Please don't say global warming. No.
Yeah. If we don't want to, if this is not the format you like, well, that's fine. I'm more than happy.
And this is quite fancy, Matt, with all this setup
Yeah,
here.
done a good job.
Well,
I was just expecting a phone. On a tripod.
I'm still learning. I've got another camera because the GoPros are terrible at low light. So anyway, we'll just see. If it's something that people are interested in and it goes well, I'll invest more money into it and get it a bit better. But at the minute, we're just going for it.
Good on you guys.
Righto.
Thanks
See
for
yous all.
watching.
Yeah,
See ya.
Hooroo.